Well, a very good afternoon, West Ham fans. It's Thursday, it's lunchtime, so you know what it's time for? It's time for the Russy Rumour Roundup. Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Lots going on as per usual. But it's Thursday. It's almost a week. Almost done it. We've almost done it. It's progressed a little bit longer, and we've got this sorted. We've got this in the bag. Now, what's quite interesting is it definitely seems now that we are diverting away from, obviously, we seem to have okayed the forward line. Maybe there's a little bit of something which was going to happen, but we'll wait and see about that. But in terms of the defence, that seems to be our main focus. Definitely within the next 2 weeks, basically. Obviously, the Premier League officially kicks off next Saturday, it kicks off on the Friday, but we play on the Saturday, you know what I mean? So, as always, we bring to you the latest news, reviews, rumours, so you don't have to scour all the transfer rumour pages. We do it for you. And I have to always say this at the beginning, warning, warning, warning. I'm not saying we're signing all these players. In fact, we make a point of keeping a tally of how many players we've been linked with, just to show the craziness that is the transfer window. Now, this is all, let's put it in context. Obviously, it does seem that Kurt Zouma is going to be moving on. Shabab Al-Ahir is apparently his potential destination. He's preparing to meet representatives from the UAE Pro League rather than the Saudi Pro League. So this is a team in Dubai. Lovely part. You know, I love my trips to Dubai. Oh, brother Budden's out there as well, so maybe a bump into Kurt. Maybe you'll pop into Nelson's, the West Ham bar, for a pint, maybe, of water. Now, I reported on Claret and Hugh yesterday, I think it was. The Hammers hierarchy is willing to let Zouma go for free as long as it frees up his wages, as long as basically his wages are covered. He currently earns about 125 grand a week at West Ham, so that could be a significant saving of almost £6 million when taking into account the remainder of his contract. Obviously, his contract runs out next summer. So apparently, Lopetegui has informed Steiden that he doesn't see Zouma as part of his plans. He's highly unlikely to feature or play any part in the pre-season friendly on Saturday, and the Frenchman's very aware of his situation at West Ham at the moment. So it really is up to him. I mean, in theory, he could sit on his hands for a season and pick up the money, but Dubai's nice weather. Anyway, so it does seem that the centre half is an area we're looking at. Sean Wilson on Twitter said one, if not two. We know there's a number of. We know they're keeping the targets that they're close to their chest, but there's a number of targets. So which one are their targets, or is there somewhere completely different? Obviously, we've ruled out Joe Gomez. It's too expensive, but we've got a few to talk about today. So strap yourself in. I almost said strap on, but we're not strapping on. We're strapping in. Let's start with... Who should we start with? Let's start with Trevor Chalobah. No. I've given it away. I haven't put the first one in. Trevor Chalobah. I think he's 60%. Anyway, put the wrong bloody thingy. What an idiot, bottom. Anyway, with Trevor, he's an option that apparently West Ham have admired for a while, and a low move with an option to buy could also appeal to West Ham, potentially. Chelsea may be willing to sell at a good price. He's been left out of the Chelsea's pre-season. He's told his surplus to requirements, very similar to the Conor Gallagher situation. He's been training on his own with Conor. Obviously, Conor's going to Atletico Madrid, so it does seem that Trevor's the next one out the door. Now, as a loan to buy, could be great. Whether Chelsea would do that is another thing, but obviously it's getting them off his books. And if it's obligation to buy, then obviously that's money in the bank, really. That'd probably favour us as well in terms of maybe extending the lifespan of the transfer fee as well, because obviously it's a loan deal, and then say it's a 5-year installments, so it's actually 6 years. You across 6 years, because you're paying a loan fee to start off with. I think it's probably the most likely. You see some of the other guys we've been linked to. I mean, considering where we are now, in the fact is we've only got a week and a bit until the Premier League starts. We know that Kurt Zouma isn't going to be in his plans. So if that's the case, then at the moment it's Kilman and Mavropanos. So you want somebody to come in and start playing, and Trevor knows the Premier League. So that's why I think he would be a fair shout. Another one that's been on the peripherals for a while is Oumar Solet, 24-year-old French centre-back, currently playing at RB Salzburg. Now, he's an interesting one because he's relatively cheap, like the budgie. According to Darmesh on Sky Sports yesterday, he was name-checked as one of the players on the shortlist. So there is this shortlist. I think we've probably a four-man shortlist, but we're going to go through about 6 or 7 players. So some of them aren't on the shortlist, but we don't actually know who the official shortlist is. If there is a four-man shortlist, he's going to be around about 12 million quid. Definitely one for the future, and more of a raw player, whereas he has obviously no Premier League experience and stuff, but that can obviously be learnt. He's very quick on the floor, and could represent good value of money. 12 million quid. You're looking at, you could easily triple your money on him if that's the model they're looking for. So the Russy Rumour Racing also gives Oumar a 60%, 6 out of 10. So I'll do. Some people like the percentages, some people like 6 out of 10, so 6 out of 10. Another guy we can talk about, yes, is Fabricio Bruno for Flamengo, the Brazilian defender, 28. Now we had a bid at the beginning of this transfer window accepted. You remember we had the whole "here we go" from Fabricio. Since then, he's been very, very coy when it comes to West Ham signings. Now, what's interesting about Bruno is obviously the price was agreed for Flamengo around £13 million. However, his wages were an issue. Now, with Kurt Zouma's £6 million off the wage packet, apparently, or it could be, that would release more funds in order to offer Fabricio more money if that's deemed someone we want to go with. He's a no-nonsense defender. Arguably, I think maybe sometimes we like a bit of no-nonsense in our defence. Quite a formidable partnership of him and Kilman, 2 brick walls, really. Obviously, no experience in the Premier League. We had Tim Vickery on a while ago. He talked about Bruno and actually said that despite the fact it all falling through, he was told when he was at Flamengo watching the game that they expect him to go this transfer window anyway. So maybe we were just... It looks like he's got his knob out. Anyway, didn't look at that till now. It'd be quite impressive if he pops up like that as well. How big was he? Anyway, calm down, Bun. So we shall see. I think it's Lamar for him. I think it's a 50-50. People say, why do I call it Lamar? Because Lamar had a song called 50-50. So 50%, 50-50, Russy Rumour Rating, the original Rumour Rating. Who else is on the shortlist? Well, apparently Mats Hummels, 35-year-old German international, was on the shortlist. Now, for me, this is a sort of a non-starter, really. Apparently, Lopetegui is interested. He said Matt's someone I would be interested in working with. Tim actually went, he's too old, so there's a discrepancy there. Experience, yes, but I think everything else we're looking for doesn't fit the profile at all. If it was, he would need to come in and play and want to play a first team role. If he came in and played a Bonner role, that's great. I'd love that, but that ain't going to happen for him. Bologna are also interested in him, which is quite interesting because actually Bologna comes into play for some others of our centre-back options potentially as well. So I'm only going to give this a 2 out of 10, 20% in the old Russy Rumour Rating. Another free transfer I think could be more on the cards is Mario Hermoso from Spain, formerly of Atletico Madrid. He's now a free agent, 29. Now, what I like about Mario is... We haven't had a good Mario since João Mario, obviously, and he did all right for us on loan. But he's well known to Lopetegui from his days as the Spanish national manager. So there could be interest in bringing him to London. But again, no move has been made at this stage. But I could see that more likely than Mats Hummels. He's 29, good age, free transfer. Sean alluded to the fact that we might even bring in two centre halves. If we can get rid of Zouma and maybe potentially Aged as well, we could bring in two centre halves. We'd need to bring in two centre halves for sure, but one for sure with Zouma moving on. So I'm actually giving him a Lamar because obviously there's a number of other clubs interested in him, obviously, because obviously it's a free transfer. Very bloody good player as well. Also, can play right back as well, I believe, or left back. No, left back. I think he can play left back as well. So useful to know. Yeah, I think he's left-footed, Mario. So I'd favour us to get a right footer. People say I get hung up on this, but just the body positioning. Again, when Again was playing really crap, it's because he was playing on the right hand side. Put on the left hand side, he's better. So maybe not. We'll see. It's interesting because actually, left back's an area we're going to talk about in a tick. I know we're looking at right backs, but there's been news about a left back as well, but we'll come back to that one. Now, one person I don't think it's going to be is Todibo. I don't think it's going to be Todibo. Fabricio Bruno last night basically said that I think that West Ham are looking at alternatives because Juventus keep pushing on Todibo and are back in negotiations with the player, with the club. They have an agreement with the player. As of today, Juventus remain clear favourites to sign Todibo. That is the plan of the club and the idea of the player too. So, by all accounts, Juventus have gone back in with some sort of compromise in terms of spending. Well, whether Nice accepts that is another thing. He would probably be my number one target in this position in terms of this, but I think the likelihood of us getting him is greatly diminished. And in fact, if he's got his heart set in Juventus, sometimes it's like, why would we, we'd be the consolation prize. And again, I think that's us misinterpreting the effect of not having Europe as well. Thinking, oh, well, it's the event that you pick us up. But not having Europe is a massive thing. And that's why I think we've got to work within the constraints. So when we see people like Nicholas Fulker coming in, people go, oh, he's old. But the fact is he wants to come to us. And I want players who want to come to us. And the fact is, if he comes to us and he's confident and he's happy and he bangs in goals, then we're more likely to go and get players who maybe we can compete with the likes of Juventus, maybe in terms of offering them European football. Obviously, Juventus is Juventus. Turin, over Stratford. But I just don't think this one's going to work. That's why I'm only giving him now 30% chance. But it's still a chance. You never know. Strange things have happened at sea. Going back in and talking about Bologna, I want to talk about Logan Costa from Toulouse, a 23-year-old French centre-back. About 15 million euros he's sort of rated at. Now, what's interesting is apparently, according to El Resto di Carlillo, it says that Logan is waiting on West Ham to make a move and make their intentions clear. The Italian news outlet reported when was it, on Wednesday, that Bologna have made an official approach to sign him, and he's yet to make a concrete decision on where his future lies. Now, Bologna are also interested in Mats Hummels, so maybe let him have Mats Hummels and we get in Logan. Now, not the finished article at all, but quick, strong, 23, good age, and could be a wild card. He's one that apparently we know we're interested in, but obviously no concrete offer has been made. So I'm giving the man a 60%, 6 out of 10. So that's the centre halves. Let's talk about the right back position. Now, obviously, Wan Bissaka, we continue to be. It's like it's the next Carlos Bacchus saga. It's the next Yusuf En-Nesyri saga. I still think there is more. It's more likely that. So I've given him a 70% because I still think it's more likely we're going to get him than not get him. The stars seem to be aligning a little bit. Obviously, I totally understand Aaron's position. Man United, he doesn't want to necessarily be sold because if he gets sold, well, if he does, no, it's not the case. He's not being sold. Start again. If he is sold, then he wants the loyalty bonus because he hasn't put a transfer request in, which I totally agree with. He's got 1 year left in his contract. He could see out the contract and then he could get 5-10 million signing on fee, for another club next summer. I think it's about 3 million quid. So he doesn't want to walk away for 3 million quid. He would. I think, by all accounts, it seems that everything else apart from that is sort of agreed, but I think the idea is where does that 3 million come from? I think we wanted 50, we were paying 15, Man United wanted 18, but was that 18, was the three involved, the three that they were going to give to Wan Bissaka? Possibly, but that shouldn't come out of West Ham's pocket, that should come out of Man United's pocket. So I still think that's on the cards, but we are looking at alternatives. And we'll talk about some of those alternatives in a minute. But what I wanted to bring to your attention was someone that we spoke about a long time, like during the Euros. Ferdi, good old Ferdi Kadioglu. Now, he obviously starred for Turkey in the Euros, played very well. West Ham were at the Euros, and he was someone that impressed. And according to AC Marca Turkey, West Ham have made an official offer to Fenerbahce for Ferdi. Now, it's nothing new, but according to the new report, West Ham have now made a bid for the Dutch-born Turkish international. Also, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, and Nottingham Forest, it's a weird bunch of four, are also to be interested in the 24-year-old. But apparently it's the Hammers who made the first move, according to the report. I can't see this happen. I just don't understand it. Why, we've got a bloody good left back at the moment. So I don't understand why we would look at bringing in Ferdi if we were already having a left. We've already got Emerson. Now, what is interesting in a weird about way is Ferdi also has played right back, also has played central midfield, also has played left wing. So it might not be as a direct replacement for Emerson. It could be down the line. But here's a thought. Arnau Bissaka. We put a pin in that. We'll see you next year. Ferdi. We'll buy Ferdi. We'll put him right back. Next season, Emerson's 31, 32. Ferdi goes to left back. We bring Arnau Bissaka on a free transfer in the summer. Timmy's always one step ahead of us. But apparently, also, looking at it, I'm just reading the article at the same time. According to the report, it claims Fenerbahce's valuation is around 38 million for him. So we know that Mourinho needs to sell to bring players in. Obviously, Thomas Suchek's been linked with a move to Fenerbahce. So I'm going to put it at 50-50. So I just can't see him going as a direct replacement for Emerson. If it's as a right back, which he has played, how many games has he played right back? I've got it here. How many games has he played right back? Let's have a quick look. Main positions. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say how many times he's played. Let's have a quick look. Bear with. He's played fucking everywhere. He's played left back, attacking mid, right wing, right back, left winger, left midfield, right midfield, central, second striker, and defensive midfielder. He's played 67 games as a left back, and he's played 37 games as a right back. Last season as well, he played half a dozen games for last season as well. So interesting. But maybe they've learned from what we did with Kieran Trippier, ironically, where we played a right back at left back, and that didn't work very well. And obviously now we're linked to Kieran Trippier, apparently now. Aaron Tom spoke about it this morning. Now, could it be... Now, trying to second-guess Tim Stein at the moment is impossible. Could it be all this is going out to put pressure on Man United to give us Arnau Bissaka? Quite possibly. He could do. I can't see. I mean, Kieran Trippier, he's 33. Soufal's 31. I think Trippier's on the way out. Soufal's on the way out. I just don't see this one happening at all. So it's a full story put out with an English, homegrown right back in the Premier League putting it out there just to put pressure on Man United? Quite possibly. Man United need to sell Wan Bissaka in order to facilitate Nazura and the De Ligt deal from Bayern Munich. That's basically the thought process. But I just can't see that one happening. One which could happen, again, another left field one, is Genoa right back Arnau Martinez. Now, according to Mundo Deportivo, West Ham have made contact with the players' representatives and have let them know they're interested in signing him. Now, Martinez is primarily a right back, but can play centre back as well, which again is quite interesting. West Ham already had talks. Have apparently already held talks with the Spanish club, and an open bid could be made shortly. The Hammers want to sign him mainly as a right back. He's got a contract with Genoa until next summer, and has not signed a new deal with the club. So another one of these profile types of players we're trying to bring in terms of guys who are very much coming into the last year of the contract. Wan Bissaka is the same. So you can see, I mean, he's 21 as well. He's versatile. I imagine Lopetegui also is aware of him spending, he did a lot of scouting when he was sort of in between jobs and identified a number of players, particularly from La Liga, who he think could make an impact. Whether Martinez is one of them, I don't know, but fits the profile of the majority of players we're after. He would offer, I mean, it could be a case. No, it won't be. Ignore. But I was thinking it could be maybe we get Wan Bissaka and Martinez, but I don't think that will happen. I don't think we've got the money for that. But it's someone we're apparently interested in. We'll see. I'm going to give him a 60%. The reason why is it's a similar bit of money, I reckon, to what we'd pay for Wan Bissaka. Younger, Spanish, and versatile enough to play right back, right sort of centre back as well. So he could cover two positions, which could be very useful for us. Yeah, that's what I think. Anyway, everyone wants to know what the list is. We're up to 190 players. 100 now. I've got to go through some of these because I'm sure some of these have gone elsewhere now, but I haven't done that. 190 players who've been linked to, which is why I say we're not going to sign everyone that we put on and we talk about. Anyway, let me know in the comments who's your pick? Who's your pick for centre half? Who's your pick for right back? Because I think those are obviously the next two positions, probably the last two positions, unless a bid for Duran comes in, that we'll be looking at. And until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends. Come on, you bloody irons. Don't forget tonight as well, we have got the big debate on the channel, hosted by Gates. You remember he did it's like question time for West Ham fans. There's still time to put questions in. We've got it on our community post, similarly within Gates's social media as well, his Twitter and his X and his YouTube and stuff like that. So there'll be a panel of West Ham fans talking about the topics you want talking about. And until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. Come on, you irons.